What would happen if the country ran out of cash? DHK, your favorite attorney CPA, here to talk about side hustles. See what's happening in Cuba? The banks and the ATMs are out of cash. People are having difficulty taking cash out so they can exchange and buy goods. What happened was inflation went up, and it went up at a very steep, rapid pace in a very short, compressed period of time. So people needed more cash to buy stuff. And what ended up happening is the consumers and the banks, they weren't keeping the cash. It was the small businesses, because the small businesses took in the cash, and rather than depositing it right back into the bank, they have fear of cash runs. Like people going to a bank run, going in there, taking out all the cash, right? So the small businesses are keeping it and exchanging it amongst themselves. What would happen if that happened here and there was no cash? Well, in Cuba, one of the things that they're trying to do is either one, move everything to electronic and no more cash, or two, quantitative easing where they print more money. Now that's something that could happen if it happens over a long time, the quantitative easing. The putting everything to electronic cards, that's a lot more complicated. But this is what could happen if inflation goes up really fast at a very steep pace in a very short compressed period of time and nobody does anything about it. People will start to cash hoard and people will start to do bank runs. Any thoughts on what would happen here if we ran out of cash? DHK, your favorite attorney CPA, until next time.
Alright, Shalom. This is the brother Kaya from GMS New Orleans coming back at you with another Ride and Talk. Prior to getting started, as I always do, I'd like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to the items that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. I played that clip in the beginning, all right, to actually show how the money is flying towards heaven, all right. And the Fed, the Fed hike rates and the interest rates being increased upon the people, all right. He mentioned quantitative easing, all right. This is another format to inflate the money more and more, all right. This place is already littered with thick clay. All right, meaning what is in a great deal of debt, all right, and the more money printing to ease the economy, all right, of the financial struggles, only gonna belly this place up, which is the goal, all right. Like he said, they want to move to electronic money. The only electronic money, all right, that the future holds is the CIP or the MOTB, all right. That's the only way you're going to have electronic money, because you have a card with a chip in it, all right? But that chip is going to become the money, okay? And this is Proverbs 23, all right, and 5. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not, right? Because a lot of people have pierced themselves through with many sorrows, all right, following money. Money gonna lead to the death of many, man, all right. Gold has been the ruin of many, as I'll get, in Sirach. It says, for riches certainly make themselves wings, they fly away as an eagle towards heaven, which the fiat currency, all right, or the dollar. I mean, let's be clear. The dollar not disappearing. It's, it's pretty much out of here. Okay, you go to your local supermarkets, all right, even your dough boys, they be in the store pulling money out. Everybody looking at them strange. People complaining about how long he taking to count the money, all right, at the register, because everybody trying to tap and go. Okay, so is even gonna be during the pandemic, they was like, hey, well, the C could be on the money, all right, and these banking people worrying about a cash run. All it does is basically circulates the money in the economy again. You see, like when that happened with the Silicon banks, people started going to get their money out the banks. All right, which that false flag that they did, all right, all it did was to trigger the people to assimilation with the people to see basically how they would do with their money. All right, and if money is drying up in the economy, they don't want something to happen to where people go and get money, because it'll be harder for everybody to have money on the streets and then collapse the dollar versus people not having any money and collapsing the dollar. All right, it's a process to it, you see. So it says, read this again, will thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings, they fly away as an eagle towards heaven. We know that eagle fly high. All right, I'm gonna read it in the NLT. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle. Now, let's deal with this quantitative easing. All right, just look, you just go and look it up. All right, what is quantitative easing and how does it work? All right, it's a Federal Reserve monetary policy. All right, quantitative easing is considered an extreme form of monetary policy reserved for use during a crisis situation. All right, now what they're going to do, they're going to cause a money crisis. The dares the wicked, all right, or the people, the bankers, the rich elites. It says the Fed typically targets the federal fund rate, the interest rate used when banks borrow money from each other. Now, those small businesses, like he said, was kind of keeping the money within or whatever. Like, and obviously you got those SBA loans, all right, different things of that nature. It says to dictate monetary policy during an economic downturn, which we're already in a recession. All right, a recession. When a recession collapses, it goes into a depression. All right, it goes into a depression. Let's deal with that. Right? We already in a soft recession. Well, not really. All right, it goes into a depression, which to press down law, put down by force to conquer. All right, and in depressions, when you go look at the Great Depression, they had totally conquered the economy, man. All right, the keepers of the house is trembling. Let me get that. This house man is the house is dropping through what? The house management. And those that manage the house controls the house. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. You see? And the doors be shut in the street when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right? The windows is being darkened in this place, man. All right? The outlook on the future of getting the bag and getting to the money, right, is real grim. All right? And that's why they're going to compress the people into getting this electronic money. That's why they're like, hey, how people going to do it? Quantitative easing don't help the flow of currency, man. All right? It congests it more. All right? It raised interest rates, which put more pressure on the people, more taxes. All right? So a depression basically bring the economy all the way to a downward spiral. All right? A recession, let's look this up. It brings it back. All right? And when it brings it back, the depression brings it down, man. All right? No receipt, right? Back to this quantitative easing. It says the central bank lowers interest rate in an effort to stimulate borrowing and increase economy activity. But the more borrowing, all right, the more tax is going to be on it, which these small businesses borrow from the bigger banks, and all they do is basically buy them out. And then these Fortune 500 companies, you start to begin to just deal with all large companies. You just your Walmarts, all right, the major 500 companies, Fortune 500 companies, and all they do is basically circulate the money through them. Now they're only having you going to places just like only Walmart, all right? So when they do shut that down, they can totally control the economic exchange, all right, or the money exchange between people. You see? You see the way that they're doing it? They're basically forcing you to go to one place to buy. Then when they shut that down, okay, you're going to have to buy through them, the Internet of Things, okay? And then once you go through that, it's easy to introduce to you what? The new wave of monetary flow, all right? Which is that MOTB. It says, but if the Federal Reserve pushes rates to zero and the economy continues to lag, it may turn to quantitative easing, right? In quantitative easing operation, the Federal Reserve buys securities, primarily U.S. Treasuries and mortgage-backed securities, which the paper-backed and the mortgage-backed securities, this place is in deep debt. You can't buy debt, all right? You got to either pay it off, all right, but you can't buy more debt. It says on the open market with money created out of thin air, all right, which creates inflation, all right? And when inflation comes, they have a new form or a new way of money, okay, which is the MOTB. This is sometimes referred to as money printing. You can only print so much money. Of course, the Fed isn't running off $100 bills in the basement of the Eccles building. It's more likely using a debit card when no money is in the account, right? Which digital money is basically like money you don't know where it's at or what you have. And that's why the bankers don't want you coming in the banks getting physical money out, all right? That don't work towards their enterprise. That works against it. With a few keystrokes, the central bankers at the Fed transfer money that never existed until that moment to a bank or financial institution in return for securities. The central bank didn't hold these assets on its balance sheets, having injected the newly created money into the banking system. They're creating money out of thin air, right? That's why the money has flew up into heaven. The effect is to increase the money supply, incentivize borrowing, and drive interest rate lower. You can only borrow so much, all right? The interest rate is so high on every loan or anything you get, obviously you can't pay it back. Banks can take this newly minted cash and make loans. This increase overall liquidity in the financial system and theoretically stimulates lending, boosting the broader economy. A secondary effect is to monetize federal government debt. In effect, QE turns Uncle Sam's debt, treasury notes and bonds, which is fiat currency, into cash. This enables U.S. governments to borrow more than it otherwise could under normal market conditions. All right, that's pretty much it with that. Get a few precepts and get out of here. This Nahum 3:16. Yeah, man, money has taken wings and left up out of here, right? It says, thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. Thy cankerworms spoil it and fly it away. All right. And again, all right, the rich, woe to you rich men, you know, your riches are moth-eaten, you know, they're going away, man. And they're basically the people that's rich. They're the ones making the money disappear. Let's keep it. The movers and shakers of this economy are the people that's making the house drop through. Okay? It's simple, man. Take the money away, the coins and the paperback, all right? And you can what? Control the people. The money controls the people, all right? So this is an agenda, all right, of the elites, man. You know, taking the money away. Because really, it's, you know, money is within gold, man. Let's get that. Okay, this is a rock. Quantitative easing. Come on, man. 31 and 5. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Yeah, the money is corrupting here. All right. And then in the scriptures, the fiat currency, the paperback, that's not even real money. All right. That which is not real gonna always vanish, man. It says gold had been a ruin of many, and their destruction was present. So if you follow after this gold, all right, or this fake money, your destruction is going to be present. Many have sinned for a small matter, and for abundance they're going to turn their eyes away, man. This is verse 7. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every food shall be taken therewith. So as the money fly away, the food that follow it gonna fly away with it. So I don't want to write this out of was edifying, man. Till next time I see Shalom.